Hi, it's Diane with my Sacred Circles. Today we do part 3 in the series where I take the runes in the Elder Futhark and I put them in context with what I think an equivalency would be with the major arcana. And then I take it further and put that in story context because I always feel like it's a lot easier for me to remember things in the context of stories. So we break this into 2 different parts per et. There are 3 ets: Freya, Heimdall, and Tyr. Today we'll do Heimdall, and we'll look at Heimdall and the major arcana. So Heimdall is the guardian of Bifrost, which is the rainbow bridge that is the bridge, like he's the guardian that protects Asgard, and he sees all of the worlds at once. And he's an extremely important Norse god. One of the most important. Some would argue that he's more important than Odin. And one of the things he has is a horn. And the horn is for him to sound the alarm. They know that a battle of the end of times is coming. And so when Ragnarok is about to happen, he will sound that alarm and everyone will be prepared for battle. They've already set up a system where all of the warriors who died in battle have been taken to a special place, and they're in, Valhalla, and they're going to pull out these warriors and they're going to assist. They're going to bring them back to help fight again. And so this is this horn sounding the alarm and the end of times, I believe, is why the second et is Heimdall, destruction. His important key role in the Battle of Ragnarok. And so we start off with Hagalaz. Hagalaz is total destruction. It's a hailstorm. That's hailstorm is what this rune represents. And you can't change the weather. The weather's going to happen no matter what. It's forces beyond your control, and you just need to weather the storm. So what I put this as was the tower, and they even look alike. It's when you look at this, it looks like a tower falling down. And here again you have the storm imagery. Lightning is striking the towers. It is sudden. It is something beyond your control. It is causing total destruction. The next one we have is Now These. Now These is not this. It is a warning. It is a delay rune. I always like to think of this as a speed bump in a road. You're going down the road and you got to slow down. There's something in your path. And so it's saying, stop, hold on, slow down. You need to take care of this. And someone on YouTube said that they had heard someone else, one person said, and another person said, they heard it referred to as a thread and a knot that needs untangled. And I thought, that is the perfect description for this image and what this is. It is think of this as you have a knot and you need to take that knot. You need to stop, take the knot, work the knot out, okay? It's just something you need to do. It's separating your wants from your needs. You're not worried about your wants right now. You're worried about the more pressing issues, needs. Now, in the first series, I said Uruz is strength, and I didn't put the strength card with it, and I said I put it somewhere else. this is where I put it. And the reason I put it here was because I felt like this is where you have to do a lot of problem solving. You have to figure out how to handle a situation. You have to control your rage, that animal instinct. You need to stop what you're doing. Don't worry about your wants. Take care of the needs. There's something really important that you need to address. And here you see the issues of control, where, she's controlling, and he's mastering his inner beast, in the cave, showing strength and courage. But it's something that you need to face, and you can't go down that path until you've gotten through that. Oh, let me tell you the letters along the way too. So this is H and this is N. Now we go to the letter I, which is Esau. Esau is ice, and it's a time of reflection. Think of the qualities of ice. Freeze, stop, freeze, and reflect. And so for me, that was such an obvious one of the hermit. The hermit retreats, he goes into his little, cave or wherever, and, takes time to reflect. It's a very introspective time. Here you see this hermit is facing to the left. That means he's looking to the past. He's got the lantern and he's looking at what has happened. So he's reflecting on the past. Here again, it's in darkness, but there's a light. He's reflecting. So that is the letter I. And now we come to J, which is Yera. Yera is 1 year, and it's really a harvest rune where it requires patience. You've done everything you can. There's nothing more you can do, and it's a waiting game. So it's like, there's nothing more you can do. You just sort of have to bide your time. I love the symbolism in this because it's very yin yang. There's a lot of balance. There's flow. It's very cyclical feeling to me. Some people will draw it with this on the top and this on the bottom. Others will draw this above it. So sometimes it's like this. Sometimes it's like this. I wouldn't worry about which way you do it. You just know it's done both ways. Neither is wrong. It's over the years, a lot of information has been lost, and people don't really know what is the actual pronunciation or what is the what was the first initial way people did it, the authentic way. And so some people do it one way and some people do it another way. However, the more important thing is to know this is harvest and patience. It's 1 year. And I chose temperance. Temperance is, balance and patience. You see in both images the pouring of the water. It's pour it into this, then pour it into that. It's keeping the flow going, and I feel like this does have that imagery of flow. It's just constantly in flow, in motion. And that's one of the other things that I'd like to say about this storyline is while you have to practice patience, there's gestation that happens. Like, let's say you're in winter and things are happening below the ground. There's nothing you can do. What's happening is happening. It's not up to you right now, so that's sort of where this where we are in this story. I love the rainbow reflected, showing this for multiple reasons. First off, it's circle, it's showing balance, it's showing that, above and below, the rainbow indicating the water element of this whole rune itself too. So, and that is the letter J. Now we really get into movement when we hit Aiwass. And Aiwass, think of, now it's hitting spring and things are rising up. This is the yew tree coming up. The yew tree is associated with magic, spirituality, the divine, and this is that Kundalini energy, the earth up to the divine, the chakras from the root to the crown, connecting the physical plane to the spiritual plane. And so this is spiritual vision, spiritual enlightenment. And for that, I chose death. Now, death may not be typically considered spiritual enlightenment, but it is change. And this is a movement. This is a change energy, and this is major change. So you're having a shift from knowing one thing and being, lifted to a completely new paradigm, a new dimension. And I don't like the imagery in this one. It's very fear-based, and a lot of people are already afraid of the death card just because of the name. Love the imagery on this card because there's a little girl and she's handing Hades a flower. She's not afraid of him. She's not afraid of change. There's just this innocence about her. There's nothing to fear. Change. Everything's always changing. That's our world, really. And this Aiwass is the letter Y. Now we have Perthro. Perthro is the unknown, and I like to look at this in a couple different ways visually. There's like this abundance of unknowns. You don't know. Like there's this opportunity galore of what may happen. And here, it's blocked from view. You can't see, what's happening. So it's hidden from view. Something's going to happen, but it's hidden from your view. It is unknown. And that is very much the Wheel of Fortune. Now, the imagery here, the wheel is always in motion, and it's, it's never ending. It's always a cycle. It's always in motion. You don't know what's going to happen, and where that Wheel of Fortune lies, whether it's for good or bad, you don't know where it will land. So there's a circular imagery here. Here is a very different imagery, but they both really mean the same thing. It's unknown. Oh, and this is the letter P, which I always think is really funny because there's one that looks just like P, which is Bunyo, which is one of my favorite runes. And that one's W, which I think this looks more like a W, but this is the P letter. Now we have Alyiz, which is Z. And I see this one in so many different ways. And you can look at it and see what you think it looks like. It is the elk symbol, and it's protection. And there are only 22 major arcana, and there are 24 runes in the Elder Futhark. So when you're trying to do a one-on-one, you're like, well, what do I do with the other two? And I thought, well, let's see how the Fool is, because the Fool is on a journey. And so I put the Fool here. Now, this is someone's got your back. You're protected. Here we have the Fool, looking to the right, looking to the future, ready to walk off a cliff without any fear. He's taking a leap of faith. He feels totally protected. Here, there's an image of like a dog nipping at his backside, trying to warn him. He's unafraid. Someone has his back, but he's not afraid. And so I felt like that really did work. You know, I feel like the Fool totally worked with all use. And yeah, I already said all use is Z. And Soilo, which is also one of my two favorites. This is the sun. Soilo is the letter S, and very similarly to the rune of Unyo, this is victory and success, and the sun. So it's always good. It's no matter which way you hold it, it's good fortune. And if you think of the Vikings, anything, you know, if they were out on a ship, if it's a sunny day, what a great day. That's a great thing. Now, the imagery here, I want to compare and contrast. This, again, I don't resonate with this deck. I do resonate with the Mythic Tarot, so this is my husband's deck. But here there's a lot of sweat, and I feel like that probably means, you know, like hard-earned success, you know, but I just don't even really feel like, it's like, who cares if it's hard-earned or not? It's a good day. It's a beautiful day. It's successful. Everything's working out. You're in flow. This is good. Nothing bad. Look at that day. It's a gorgeous day. You'd want to be there, you know? And that's really what this is. It's all good. There's no way that you would look at this card and say something bad is hidden from you, you know? And that's really what this is. So that is the Heimdall-et, and this as an arc. You have a hailstorm. Everything bad's happening. It's like, no, stop. You need to handle something. You pull back. You reflect on things. And now you're in a waiting time period where things are germinating. And now, all of a sudden, when you hit Aiwass, there's some movement. That's that turning point. You know, you've now gone from frozen to being able to sort of move. Now, if you think of like winter to spring, the coming forth, coming up out of the ground, you know, and then eventually the sun comes out again. So, you know, and we don't know what our futures are. We never do. But, you know, in the end, we have a new day. And so that is really the arc of the Heimdall-et. And I think that that is really why I want to convey it's change. It's change and how we deal with change, and that change takes time, and that we do need patience. And so I want you to watch the fourth video where I put this in context of the story and refer back to these runes again, and hopefully that'll help you, you know, remember the runes. And you know, I remember things in story context. So hopefully that'll help you as you learn the runes. Namaste.